Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. The names that you just heard me say, they are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son in the ancient Hebrew or Paleo-Hebrew. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahasham means in the name, and who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. Racha Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit given on high from the Heavenly Father through his Son, for us to have the proper understanding of the scriptures today. As is written of in Amos 3 and 7, if I'm not mistaken, surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So that's why you see men out there on the highways and byways preaching the truth, preaching the true gospel, warning you of the downfall of America, because that is tied to our salvation. The downfall of this place is also tied to our salvation. Just like going back during the time of Egypt, the downfall of Egypt is what led to the Israelites being delivered. And we are seeing almost, I want to say every week, there's either an article or maybe a video like this, what I'm going into, of something that's just showing you that this place is just circling the drain. Back at it again with another video off of this woman, Kim Iverson. Now this one is, are you replaceable, right? And yes, people are becoming replaceable with AI. So just give you the short and skinny of this lesson. I'm just going to mostly have her talk and just go through the video. May not go through the whole thing, but just to show you that these are the times that we're living in, right? People are becoming replaceable, right? If you cannot find a job, what are you going to do, right? Which I was going to hold this for a little later, but, I'm just flowing through the Spirit. I'm just moving how the Spirit has me going, right? But think about it, right? Actually, the scriptures, if I could find that, scriptures say, be not ignorant in anything in a small or great matter, right? Because maybe you're tired of hearing the Hebrew Israelites. Maybe you don't want to hear us anymore. Okay, fine. But you have people like this woman, Kim Iverson, right? Prepper News, whoever you want to listen to, that are essentially sounding an alarm as well on YouTube about, hey, things are not really going well in the country. And they do these videos to alert you and to let you know that, hey, things are not going well. This is something. They don't do these videos out of the kindness of their heart. They don't do these videos to be nice. They're doing this because they're really trying to alert you, to let you know that, hey, there are things happening in the world and people should really pay attention to this. Why? Because this is going to come some way in some form to affect your life. Like I said, the videos that Kim Iverson does, Prepper News, whoever you want to watch, right? Or there's probably a plethora of other dudes that I probably didn't even name as well. Or another guy, Rethinking the Dollar, right? All these people, they're not putting these videos up for no reason. They're telling you that, hey, maybe you people out there should pay attention and be more informed about this, because if you're not well informed, this very well could affect your life in a negative way. I think it goes not ignorant. I'm gonna put not ignorant. See, this is what I hate. Come on. All right, just give me a second. If I can find it, hopefully. If I can't, I'll just quote it the best I can. But I believe there's a little bit more to it. It may be Sirach. Oh, let me see 3. I'm feeling. Oh, I'm in Ecclesiastes. Sorry. Let me check for and see. If not, I'll just quote it. Okay, I'm not finding it. But scripture said, be not ignorant in anything in the small or great matters. So these things that are coming upon the earth and that are happening, you should not be ignorant of them. If there's AI is going to take your jobs, right? Or essentially replace you, like you see there, are you replaceable, right? And she's going to go through it. I'm going to play it and let her talk. I don't think that you Americans should be ignorant of this fact, because then how are you going to, if AI is going to replace you on the jobs, right? Which you have this here, the Eldai Tazwan posted this a couple of days ago in the chat. It says breaking, nearly 1 million homeowners are now underwater on their mortgages, the highest in 3 years at MarketWatch reports. 1.6% of all U.S. mortgages holders now owe more than their homes are worth, as the pandemic era price gains reverse in markets like Austin. I'm going to guess that's Austin, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. And Cape Coral, someplace in Florida. 21%, 15%. 90% of the affected borrowers bought within the last 3.5 or 3.5 years. FHA and VA loan holders hit hardest, with foreclosures starting up to 23%. YOY. I'm not sure what the YOY means. But as you can see there, people are being affected. So again, if you're not able to pay your mortgages off, AI is replacing you. Where's this income going to be coming? And then you have to think about it as well, right? If you're going to go into some other, which I think she mentions that in this video as well, she thinks you may see a surge in people going into, I think she called it blue collar jobs, if I'm not mistaken. I always get confused between blue collar and white collar jobs. But going into plumbing, think trade jobs essentially, right? Which, yeah, you may very well see an influx of that, but you have to understand that is a competitive market as well. So if you go into these things, or hey, if you're not able to have your simple desk job anymore because AI took it, now now you have to go into other jobs where are more competitive, like a plumbing, like electrician, like carpentry, right? Like roofing, if I'm not mistaken, and things like that, where you actually have to know your stuff. Otherwise, you're not getting the job, right? You're not qualified for it, because a lot of these jobs, you could either get seriously injured, or you can injure somebody, or you can die, or you can have somebody else die, right? And they want top quality people that know what they're doing. So all that's going to do, is make it more difficult to get jobs in other spots as well. So like I'm saying, if AI is going to replace you and you can't have your nice little desk job, what are you going to do? How are you going to pay these bills off? And inflation is not stopping, right? Life goes on. Just because you lost your job and it's affecting your life and you have things happening in your life, the world does not stop. Life goes on. There's billions of other people living on this earth. So whatever you may be going through doesn't mean that the world stops for your problems. So you still have to find a way to get a job, still put bread on the table. Once you lose your job, it's not like, okay, the the mortgage against the, okay, we heard that you lost your job. Excuse me. We're going to stop. We're going to do, no. Come the first day of that month, you better have that money. If you have to pay for your car, come the first day or whenever, you better pay that car note. Whatever it is, right? Whether you have Netflix subscriptions, Disney Plus, Hulu, all that. Listen, you lost your job. Sorry, that's unfortunate, but that's on you. Come time this bill got to be paid, we're deducting this out of your account. Job or no job. So it would behoove you not to be ignorant about AI taking your jobs and not looking at it as nothing. Because even I've said it myself, I can see very easily, excuse me, of AI, because I work security, I can very easily see AI taking over security. I don't look at that as just like, oh, okay, yeah, AI is going to take. No, I can envision it in my mind of AI taking over. So again, like I said, it would behoove you people to not be ignorant and not be stupid to the fact that you can vary and are losing your jobs to AI. This is something that has not slowed down. It's continuously been talked about over and over and over and over. All right, let's get into it.
coming for your job? Recently, this article by Matt Schumer. Is AI coming for your job? Recently, this article by Matt Schumer went really viral. 76 million people have read this article so far. It is about AI developing so quickly, it is taking jobs away. And very soon, like overnight, suddenly you won't have a job. It's not something you're going to be able to see coming. Essentially, what he says in this is, and by the way, Matt Schumer is an AI startup founder and investor. So people are saying, oh, this is just...
I'm sorry. Let me just stop right there because you said you won't be able to see it coming. The reason why people don't see these things coming and won't see it coming, like the scriptures say, right? Not tying it to this, Thessalonians, if I'm not mistaken. No, First Thessalonians, right? Is because they're not paying attention. They don't know the times that they're in. Even with, hey, let me just read this precept and I'll say my piece. This is First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So Paul was telling to the Thessalonians that, look, you don't have, even though I'm writing to you, I don't have to go in depth in certain things with you because you know the times and the seasons that you're in, right? Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, tells you that. To everything under the sun, there's a time, right? A time to love and a time to hate, a time to gather and a time to refrain, a time of peace and a time of war. So it's the same thing here. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Why? Because you see the things that are happening in the world, so you see that the day of the Lord is coming. Same thing, use it to apply to this with AI. You should be able to see of the season, the time and season that you're in, that, hey, these corporations, these people are moving in a different direction where they're moving away from human resources and are now using, for lack of a better word or saying, mechanical resources, AI, to where I'm replaceable now. I can be easily just gotten rid of. And why can I be gotten rid of my job? Not because I'm bad at my job. Not because I haven't been a good employee or anything like that. No. The reason why it's easy to get rid of me at my job is because of how convenient and how easy AI makes things. AI is not a person. It doesn't need to sleep. It doesn't need to eat. It doesn't need a vacation. It doesn't need a break. It is 24/7 on the job, all day, every minute, every hour. There is no rest with AI, as opposed to a person. A person may come late on the job and you got to deal with that type of individual. You don't have to worry about AI coming late on the job. AI is already there. AI's been working, right? You don't have to worry about AI asking for vacation time. AI is not taking a vacation. AI is not asking for a break. AI is not doing any of this. It's constantly working 24/7. So AI is a lot more convenient and easier for these corporations to implement into their businesses because of some of the reasons that I said. And you may think that, hey, oh, they wouldn't think like that. Yes, they would. Because these corporations and these businesses are about making money. Right? So again, verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And that's how the day of the Lord is going to come, as a thief in the night. And it's going to be the same thing, right, with these people and these things like AI and the other calamities that are going to come upon people. It's going to come upon them as a thief in the night. Not because they weren't there. It's because they weren't paying attention. They didn't know the time. They couldn't see the season at the end that, hey, things is changing, right? Every time the seasons change, what? They have a little, a period where the seasons slowly change between one another, right? Right now we're in the season of winter. Then it's going to be in the season of spring, if I'm not mistaken, right? And what changes between that time? What did they say? April showers bring May flowers. You have a lot of rain and things like that start to happen, right? The weather starts letting up. It's not as cold anymore. That's showing you that it's shifting between one season to the next. So see the season that you're in and see the changes that are happening. Pay attention to what's going on. You'll see that, hey, if you look around, watch videos like this, read articles, you see that, hey, There's a change of a season happening. There's a shift happening. It isn't just, oh, this is how things are. No.
Startup founder and investor. So people are saying, oh, this is just him hyping up his own industry. In the article, he even encourages people to pay for ChatGPT or pay for Claude AI, the $20 a month. So he's encouraging people to get the subscription. And he's like, AI is going to be awesome. And by the way, but it's doomsday for you. And so people are saying, well, this was just kind of like a big long ad. So there are a lot of skeptics to this article, but others are saying, no. You might think this is dystopian, not non-reality. It's not coming anytime soon, but it actually is. So essentially, he says that we're entering a rapidly accelerating phase of AI development that most people have not even grasped yet. He compares it to early 2020 with COVID, when most people didn't realize that COVID-19 was about to smack us in the face. And so he's saying that this is kind of like where we're at right now is like February of 2020, where you think, okay, yeah, I heard a virus, but that's all the way on the other side of the world. And then suddenly by March, we're all shut down. And everybody's thinking, man, my life was totally different just a month ago. That is what he's saying is happening, that the pace of AI is moving so rapidly, it's going to smack us like COVID. He says AI has progressed from basic tools to systems that can write, build, test, and improve complex software autonomously, not just draft code, but execute it and refine it like a developer. He says that new models have taken a quantitative leap. The ones that were just unveiled only a mere couple of weeks ago, he's saying that this is a quantitative leap in the AI. He says that this isn't just a futuristic tool. It's already displacing technical work. Coders are no longer really needed because the AI is coding itself. And he's saying that a lot of sectors are going to see basically a wipeout. And that would be law, finance, consulting, writing, analysts. All within a few years, there's going to be like a 50% reduction in the workforce in intellectual jobs. So think about what machinery did for workers. That is what he's saying AI is going to do to the white collar sector. So he says if your job happens on a screen, meaning it's mostly cognitive work.
Right, like she just mentioned there, think about what machinery did for workers, right? Because now if you have this machine that can do the work that a normal human would do, but 2 to 3 times faster, you can now deduce you don't need as much people. Maybe you'll still have people there just in case, or people to overwatch the machines just to make sure that nothing happens. But you're not going to have the influx that you would, right? And I believe in this video as well. Like I said, I may not play the whole thing, but you can see the title and you could watch it for yourself. I believe she mentions, if we don't get to it, about an AI doctor, which Yuval Noah Harari has mentioned that as well, right? So you may need still a human nurse to be in there just to make sure to watch, just in case nothing goes wrong, right? Just in case. But really, what do you have right now when you go to the hospital? A bunch of humans, right? People working there. But eventually, if this becomes a thing, which it's seeming to go in that direction, we'll see how this all plays out. But you start implementing what you call it, AI doctors, robot doctors in the facilities, and they're doing a competent and good job. Guess what? Not instantly, but slowly but surely, you'll start to have people get laid off. And it will be more and more AI robots in the facility, in the nursing homes, in the hospitals. And it will just be a few nurses left there. Whoever may be either very valuable and maybe has good seniority, or maybe whatever it may fight to keep their job, right? But for the most part, you're not going to have the, for lack of a better word, or saying the overwhelming presence of human nurses. No, that's going to dwindle low, down and down and down. Same with anything else. Like I said, I can envision it with security, right? Something that security jobs do, something that they didn't do, I would say before my time. Talked to a lot of old heads, but there was one place that I used to work at, one security spot, and he said back in like the 90s, right, the early 90s when he worked there, that the nursing home was actually a very clean facility. It was actually a good facility. The people there actually cared, and they actually had a lot more security guards there, right? Now, that's what's the purpose of security, right? Security is supposed to deter, prevent things from happening, and report if anything, happens, right? So back in the day, a lot of these places would have multiple security guards, right? Not just during the day, right? Now, obviously you have multiple guards there during the day because during the day is your busiest, right? But it would be like that through all the shifts, through the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. I remember him telling me that during the night shift, you would have one guard at the desk, one guard in the back, and another guard in the parking garage. So you had 3 guards. So just in case of anything, you had multiple, you had multiple people just in case of anything. Somebody want to use the bathroom, just in case backup, something like that, right? But when I was working there, you would have multiple people there during the day. But then when it came afternoon, you only had 2 guards there. You see? Because they become cheap where they don't want to pay people and things like that, right? And that's one of the reasons, because I don't want to pay extra money to have all these guys here. Why do I need them when just 1 or 2 people or just one person can do it? But sometimes things happen, and I've worked in places where it's just literally you overnight watching a place. And that's completely stupid, because what if a person has an asthma attack or something like that? Things like this happen, but they'll have, and the reason why, or one of the reasons why they do that, like I said, is because of money. They may sit there and say, why not? But come on now. If you want your place to be secure, and just in case as well, in case anything happens, to have backup for the guard, right? Not saying that the guards are going to beat up somebody if somebody tries to break in somewhere or anything like that, but just so there's another person there, hey, I'm feeling a little woozy, I'm feeling a little dizzy or something like that. Hey, just keep an eye out for me real quick. Let me just go to the store and get something to eat. There are some places that I've worked overnight that you can't leave the spot. You just got to stay there. So if you get hungry or whatever, oh well, you stand there with a hungry stomach. All because they don't want to pay extra guards for that security. So think about with AI. If AI can do things more efficiently, you don't think that they'll get rid of you as well?
AI will profoundly change or replace significant parts of it soon. So this is a warning. He issues it. It's a stark warning. A lot of people were like, okay, because you said to go buy some AI and you're an AI founder and just hyping your own thing. This is just a bunch of bullshit. But others are saying, no. You got to listen to this guy. Farzad is one of those people. He says that all the AI companies are saying that AI will fundamentally transform the world. AI denialists hear that and think it's hype. It's not hype. I promise you, it's not hype. It's very real. And if you ignore it, it'll be the biggest disruption of your life. And so a lot of people are saying, yeah, this is going to happen. Here's Microsoft CEO talking about how many of the...
Sorry for pausing and stopping like that, but she just said that he says if you ignore it, it's going to be the biggest mistake of your life. He's an insider. He knows something. He works very closely with this stuff. So he must know something, excuse me, right? For him to sit there and tell you. But of course, people are just going to go about their lives and just, hey, life is just life and things. But then when it hits them, oh, how could they do this? But it's like, it wasn't no how could they do this. This has been something that has been happening. Again, remember, like I mentioned, with the season from winter to spring, there are things that happen in between, right? The weather starts changing before it hits that next season. But what? The elements, life shows you that, hey, we're switching from winter to spring. It's not as cold as much, right? It's not that freezing temperature cold. Starts raining a lot, things like that. If you're like me and you have like a seasonal allergies, your asthma starts acting up, pollen and all that type of stuff starts affecting you. That's showing you what? The change in the season. You're heading into another season. So it's the same thing with this type of stuff. The information is out there. Like I'm using this woman, her video. She's putting information out there. Other people are putting information out there. Why aren't you people hip to this type of stuff? This really, when you look at it, this is worldly stuff. And a lot of you people, or majority of people, are of the world. So you should be hip to this. This shouldn't be something that you're ignorant of. This shouldn't be something that you're not paying attention to.
Tasks of accountants, lawyers, and other professionals are going to be fully automated by AI within the next year, he says.
You talk about superintelligence. Most of your rivals talk about AGI, artificial general intelligence. Explain the difference between AGI and superintelligence.
I prefer the definition that focuses first on what would it take to build a system that could achieve most of the tasks that a regular professional in a workplace goes about on a daily basis. Think of it as a professional grade AGI.
How close are we?
I think that we're going to have a human level performance on most, if not all, professional tasks. So white collar work where you're sitting down at a computer, either being, a lawyer or an accountant or a project manager or a marketing person, most of those tasks will be fully automated by an AI within the next 12 to 18 months. And we can see this in software engineering. Many software engineers report that they are now using AI-assisted coding for the vast majority of their code production, which means that their role shifted now to this meta function of debugging, scrutinizing, of doing the strategic stuff like architecting, of, et cetera, putting things into production. So it's a quite different relationship to the technology, and that's happened in the last 6 months.
I placed my hand into a pond of snakes. Their bodies shifted beneath the water as they
In the last 6 months.
Okay, so he's saying in the next 12 to 18 months, a lot of jobs are going to be pretty much fully automated by AI. In fact, Microsoft even put out a list of the most at-risk jobs. Let's go over this. Interpreters and translators. That makes sense. AI has been fantastic at translating. I use it all the time for my Italian language learning. Historians are going to be potentially replaced. Passenger attendants, sales representatives of services, writers and authors, customer service representatives, CNC tool programmers, telephone operators, ticket agents and travel clerks, broadcast announcers and radio DJs, brokerage clerks, farm and home management educators, telemarketers, concierges, political scientists, news analysts,
Concierge is somewhat similar to security, although not exactly. Concierge is more based upon like hospitality and giving a warm feeling. I forgot what it's called, but it's just kind of, for lack of a better word, the word is escaping me, but making you feel at home, where security is more deter and detect and things like that. But it is somewhat similar to it in some degrees.
reporters, journalists, mathematicians, technical writers, proofreaders and copy markers, hosts and hostesses, editors, business teachers post-secondary, public relations specialists, demonstrators and product promoters, advertising sales agents, new account clerks, statistical assistants, counter and rental clerks, data scientists, personal finance advisors, archivists, economics teachers post-secondary, web developers, management analysts, geographers, models, market research analysts, public safety telecommunicators, switchboard operators, library science teachers post-secondary. Are we going to tolerate a world where we're only talking to machines all the time? I don't think so. I mean, I have a hard time believing that this is going to be the case when not only does AI make a lot of mistakes, but would I trust AI to become my historian or journalist or even writer, or, depending on the writing, I suppose, depending on the journalism, depending on the history that you're trying to learn, depending on the level, I suppose. But AI...
Okay, this is where she goes into babbling. I might forward it here, but let me browse some precepts real quick, which I had them saved if I'm not mistaken. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the grinders ceasing is work, employment, right? And how are we seeing work and employment ceasing for people, right? Which work is not really ceasing, right? It's just you people, your employment and your work, that's what's ceasing, because you're being replaced, right, by AI. Hence why she put the little thumbnail picture there. Are you replaceable? And yes, it is showing you that you are replaceable. And this is what these businesses or corporations, this is the direction that they're moving towards. People being replaced. This is where you get the term useless eaters, because now think of it. If you're being replaced by AI and AI can do everything better than you, right? She went through a list of all the jobs that AI is going to pretty much can and will take over, right? If AI can do all these things, what use are you now? You're just going to be home doing what? Not being able to pay your mortgage and things like that. Hence the term that I believe it was Yuval Noah Harari came up with, if I'm not mistaken, I apologize if I'm incorrect about that, called useless eaters. You're useless. You're not useful in the workforce. You're not useful in society. So what's the use of you? What's the purpose of you? And I think she even mentions it in this video as well, that if people can't work, well, people are just going to either get strung up on drugs or look to do something, because we're productive people. You're supposed to work. But if you're not being productive in society, you're useless. Well, hey, an idle mind is the devil's playground. The brother Ashiar always says that. Your mind is going to come up with things to do, because we're supposed to be productive. We're supposed to do things. And one of those things that we do is work. Now, our whole identity and things like that obviously is not working. But hey, it's what we use and what we do to put food on the table, to take care of ourselves, or our families. But now if you can't do those things, well, your mind is going to start spinning and thinking about things to do because the mind has to be occupied. So it's either going to be occupied with something to do productive or something productively stupid. And that's how it goes. I'll save this for a little later. Let's keep going through it.
AI is only going to spew out whatever the founders and developers train it to say. So, although, I don't know, Grok at times has seemed to defy Elon. They tried to train Grok to be less anti-Semitic, and then, they kind of gave it a lobotomy, and then it came back out and was like, well, yeah, I stand with Israel is essentially what Grok said. And then after about 12 hours, Grok was like, what? No, Israel's committing genocide. So I don't know if they can really, try to gear AI to just spew the narratives they want, because then AI goes out there and absorbs a bunch of information, then comes back and says, well, actually, this is what I'm saying. So I don't know. But that's the thing, none of us know. None of us know any of this. None of us know what's really going to happen. But that's what they're claiming is going to be, that AI is after our jobs. Here's Elon Musk saying coding is essentially going to be irrelevant. And this is really unfortunate because we told all of these young kids and all of these older people that their jobs were being eradicated to go learn to code. So all these people went and learned to code. And now here's Elon Musk saying, yeah, well, we don't need you anymore either.
I think actually things will move, maybe even by the end of this year, to where you don't even bother doing coding. The AI just creates the binary directly. And the AI can create a much more efficient binary than can be done by any compiler. So just say, create optimized binary for this particular outcome, and you actually bypass even traditional coding. That's an intermediate step that actually will not be needed probably by, I'd say, the end of this year.
The end of this year, we're not going to be needing coding because AI is going to be basically coding itself. He also goes on to say that surgeons will be replaced by basically robots.
When do you think Optimus will be a better surgeon than the best surgeons? How long for that?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. Yeah. And by the way,
I'd say 3 years at scale.
Yes.
There'll probably be more Optimus robots that are great surgeons than there are all surgeons on Earth.
And the cost of that. But that's an important statement in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
Because medicine. I mean,
I'm not like absolutely certain, but I'd say if you say like.
Excuse me. And I already watched this video done by her, but when I watched this part, one of the thoughts that came to mind, I would have to meditate more on this, but this is a very stupid and idiotic plan. By beginning with the top, you elites with AI, this don't make no damn sense at all. I cannot find why you would want to create a world where AI is doing everything. You're just making things worse. And obviously, I mean, I get it. I get it. I understand. But it's like, I cannot see the logic in this. Nothing makes sense at this point. It's like, I'm not going to lie. I thought, especially in my younger years in the truth, I thought that you guys were going to deceive the world. I mean, you are, and you are doing that, but I thought it was going to be like you guys were going to come off with your greatest hits. I thought you guys were going to go out on top, so to speak, in your deception. But this just seems stupid as hell. Why would you create something that essentially is going to take over human labor? Like I meditated for a while trying to come up with, where is the logic? What's the thought process on this? What's the idea that you're trying to do here with this? Because I cannot find any. I'm not saying I'm the smartest person in the world, but it doesn't make any sense. And even she said it. I think she's going to say it after this. We're made to be productive. You're just making a bunch of idiots. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you want to rule over people, but then you're doing things to where you can't rule over people. So it's like, you want to have control over the world. You want to have control over people. But then now you want to replace your very own servants, regardless if people believe this or not. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You're the wicked and you control the earth. But the earth is given in your hand, and you want to now remove your human workforce and replace it with AI just to microchip everybody to then what? I cannot understand what you guys are doing. It doesn't make any sense. I apologize for like going on a rant here. It doesn't make any sense. This is stupid. This is like really, I'm gonna just tell you straight up, I apologize for sounding really wicked saying this. If I was an Edomite, I would keep things the way it is right now. 100%. The way you have things going on right now is perfect. You have us literally at the bottom, right? Forget the prophets and all that type of stuff. Ain't nobody really want to listen to us. They tell us to shut up and things like that. I would just keep it that way. You have us literally at the bottom. You have our women just out there being hoes all over the place. The men is homosexuals. I would keep society the way it is right now. This is actually the way society is right now. I would say this is you winning. You trying to microchip people, you trying to do AI and all. Nah, stop it. Like, stop it. Like, nah, you need to cut it out right now. You doing too much. You have it the way society is right now. If you just take out AI, if I was an Edomite, I would keep it the way it is right now. And if the Lord was with me, you know, all that type of stuff, I would keep society the way it is right now. Just have the same old same, because this is what people want. Right? But you trying to do this whole stuff with AI and then microchipping people, it's doing too much. It doesn't make any sense. It's not cohesive. It's like, what are you trying to do? It just really shows you that, like the scriptures say, you know, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and he turneth it whithersoever he will, because the Lord really gave you an idiotic plan to go after, because it's not making any sense. Because again, I apologize for going on rant. You need people to work for you. You need human resources. But if you're going to make people useless, then what need? Because when you think about, what's the point of microchipping people then? Because I don't fucking hell, bro. This shit don't make no sense. I'm trying to see the vision here, and it's just not connecting. Because, okay, you want to microchip everybody. You want to have complete control over everybody. But then you want to replace people with AI. Let's just move on. But it's just, oh God, it's just not making any sense. It really is not. Like, this is just stupid. It's just idiotic. And I think this just ties to this next precept. Oh God, this is just a dumbass spirit. Let me just go straight to the point. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, the high or the low. Right? So AI is going to replace people. Right? Not saying that, okay, where do you see AI written here? Read between the lines. See what's going on. Obviously, the scripture is saying that there's not going to be any work for Egypt. Right? Egypt here being spiritually America. How is there no work if you, again, look at the seasons? Look at the season, the transition that you're going between, right? Where you have human workforce to eventually AI workforce. So eventually, hey, if there's no work for Egypt, meaning that there's no work for people, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be businesses and things like that. It's just these businesses are not going to have human labor, but these businesses are going to have AI labor. That's all. The people are going to be out of work. And they're going to be useless, unproductive. So then what good are people?
If it's 4 or 5 years, who cares? It's still
extreme precision.
Yes.
3 years. Yes, better than any. Probably, I'd say that if you like put a little margin on it, better than any human in 4 years.
Who's in plastic surgery?
By 5 years, it's not even close.
I think your point was medicine is going to be effectively free. The best medicine in the world.
Everyone will have access to medical care that is better than what the president receives right now.
So don't go to medical school.
Yes, pointless. Yeah. I mean, unless you, but I would say that applies to any form of education. It's not like some. I do it for social reasons. I go to medical. If you want to hang out with like-minded people, I suppose.
So Elon is saying, basically, don't even go get educated. There's no point. You're not going to have a job. So what are we going to do? We're just going to do drugs and waste away on the city streets. Because that is what humans will do. We are meant to be productive. We are meant to contribute to society. It's in our nature. And if you take that away from us, what do humans become? I mean, there's the silver lining. We could claim, well, humans will start a Renaissance movement again. We'll start doing more art, more poetry. We'll beautify. And I would love to see that. That would be really wonderful if that's what we could do. But not everybody's artistic.
Yeah, sorry, baby. That's not in the cards for America. But I believe I'll end it, just close it down here. But again, just to summarize this video, yes, people are replaceable with AI. And you're seeing that. Right, she went through a list of things like that AI is gonna either take over or can take over, right? And she already went early on in the video, and and you can watch the rest of this if you so will, that what? It's already done that. And the guy who's an insider says between the next 12 to 18 months, it's just only going to increase. So they're seeing that, hey, these corporations, these businesses, we don't have use for human labor. And like she says, humans are meant to contribute to society. They're meant to be productive. So now, what can you now contribute? What are you going to do? How are you going to, because think about it. If AI, let's just imagine, if AI takes over all the jobs, let's just say within that 12 to 18 months, right? You still got bills to pay. You still, rent is still due. You still got to either take your kids to daycare or whatever have you. So how are you going to pay? And then they talk about this, I think Elon has talked about this like universal basic income, but it's just like, you're still going to have things that you have to pay for. Again, like I said, just because you're in trouble or you lose your job does not mean that the world stops. Doesn't mean those bills get put on pause until you find a job. No. Come payday or come the first of the month, they're expecting their cut. So what are people going to do? So it just shows you that this just doesn't make any sense. And if you look at all the other nations, I don't think you hear about this type of stupidity from these other nations. From Russia, I'm pretty sure, especially China, I'm very sure that they use AI, but they still have people working. It's almost like they have like a symbiosis, if you will, between people working and AI. It's not just, oh, okay, yeah, AI is just going to take over everything. We won't have people. To my knowledge, at least, I don't think you've heard like the Russians or China or Japan talk about, oh, have a term called useless eaters. No, they still see the value in, hey, human labor. It's only here in America that, hey, people are going to be useless. You're run by idiots over here. And like, I apologize again going for like that rant, but it's just, this is not seeming cohesive. This just doesn't make any sense. It's like, what are you doing? You're all over the place. Like the elder went this past weekend, right? It just seems like your plans are just, fuck it, we just gonna bomb everybody. Fuck it, we just gonna do this. That's what it just seems like you guys are at right now. It just seems like at this point in time, it's like, fuck it, just do this. Fuck it, that. Fuck it, just throw everything up in there. Something's gonna land. It's like that meme that, the quarterback, and it's like, oh, he has a star receiver. It's like, fuck it, just throw a bomb. He's down there somewhere. It just seems like that's what you guys are doing. Like, fuck it, something has to land. And nothing is sticking. And you're only making life worse for everybody. But that is the prophecies, and that's what's supposed to happen. So like she was saying, a renaissance. No, there is no renaissance. There is no comeback from this. You're seeing the end of America. You're seeing the downfall of this wicked society. And anytime she does videos like this or people like her, it's just putting more and more proof, sounding the alarm of, hey, you have been told, you have been warned, and you can't sit there and say that you weren't warned or told, because not only were you warned by the prophets, but you have people like her that are doing these videos and warning. So what's really your excuse other than you just want to stay in your bubble of life and think that nothing bad was going to happen, that nothing was going to affect you? But these things happening in life are going to affect you, because once they put these things in place, your life now changes. The minute your job now has, let's just use me for example, AI security and things like that, your job is now, you're now at risk for losing your job, because if that thing and they like it and they see it's more efficient than you, and especially, let's just be honest, especially with Jake and things like that, let's just be honest, people don't like, I'm just going to say it outright. People don't like niggas. People don't, we know that Americans, people here don't like black people, right? So they're already quick to get rid of you and things like that, right? They don't want you there, especially if you may be a latecomer and things like that, or they have problems with you and things like that. Maybe they don't like your attitude, your look, quick to get rid of you and things like that. And they like this machine that, hey, it does what it needs to do for them. Hey, well, just slowly but surely, hey, it's not going to be like, let's say, get rid of the supervisor. No, keep the supervisor, keep some of the very effective guards, or maybe the ones that we like, but maybe get rid of like the ones that we don't really like, or maybe he's not here too much, or we don't really like this guy, he's not good for the court, so just put him to the side, get rid of him, and We don't have to pay that person. And we'll see how this goes, and slowly but surely, and then, hey, eventually just get rid of everybody, because now we don't need any of you. And that's how it's going to be. It starts off small. Get rid of this little person here and there, and then over time, start working their way up, and then over time, everybody's gone. That's how it goes. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be like, well, how could they do this? Can't really say that because, hey, videos like she's been doing, the prophets have been warning you, telling you that, hey, these things are coming. You just chose to be ignorant of it. You just chose it as nothing. It's just life. It's just, oh, well, I guess we're going to be working with AI. And that's not what they're saying. The term useless eater does not mean you're going to be working with AI. You're going to be useless. You're not going to be productive in society. A lot of people are already not productive in society. But like I said, I'll end it here. I'll close it off here. Hope and pray this video has been edifying. And as well, forgot to mention, but fair use as well. I'll put the copyright disclaimer as well in the description box. But in ending, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all for elect. Shalom.